Well, now to a story as incredible as it is unlikely. An Ellis County man was in the right place at the right time. First, he saved someone's life on Lake Waxahachie. Then, 6 weeks later, he did it again in Comanche County. NBC5's Keenan Willard joining us now. Keenan, both of the people saved say that Bell is a hero, but he says it's just a miracle that he was able to help at all.
Really, because Jacob Bell says he shouldn't have been at either of these scenes to rescue these people, because long before any of this, he was sentenced to serve 35 years in prison. Now, Bell made the decision to change his life, and because of that, he was able to save 2 others.
Makes me feel like a hero.
If anyone's earned the right to say that, it's Jacob Bell. This month, the North Texan was driving a truck in rural Comanche County when he came upon this scene.
Caught on fire. He was upside down next to another telephone pole.
Moments earlier, a driver had crashed off the road, their car breaking out in flames. Bell says instinct took over.
For me, it was, I don't even think about it. I just, I knew I could physically get him out of there, and I was going to do it.
Oh my God. He smashed in the car window and was able to pull out the driver, a 72-year-old man who wasn't breathing.
Oh my God.
I felt for a pulse. I pulled him out and kind of got him on the ground. I felt for a pulse. I didn't feel anything, so I started CPR on him. And after maybe 5 or 10 seconds, I could feel a faint pulse.
At the scene, the man started to breathe again. Suffering from smoke inhalation, Bell was taken with the driver to the hospital in Fort Worth. NBC5 spoke with the man rescued, who says he's still suffering from broken ribs, but will recover.
It's been pretty amazing with, the randomness of it.
Bell's not just talking about this rescue. Just 6 weeks earlier, he was on a boat at Lake Waxahachie when he saw a teen girl struggling in open water. He jumped in and saved her, swimming the girl back to shore. Bell also recovered the body of 21-year-old Lincer Lopez, who had fallen beneath the waves.
I'm still dealing with a lot of that. The fact that Lincer lost his life that day is still heartbreaking.
Bell's proud of both acts of heroism, because only a few years ago, they would have seemed impossible.
I got charged with burglary in '96, and they gave me 35 and a half years.
Jacob Bell spent 20 years in prison and could have still been there today. He committed to changing his life, leaving prison 6 years ago, and now has a wife and child. After all of this, maybe the most important rescue Bell made was himself.
That's very ominous. Spent most of my life thinking that I was just a nobody and a castaway, never was going to get my self-worth back. And this has really shown me that it's possible, to give back and to feel good about yourself. And that means something.
Just an incredible story of 2 rescues there. Bell tells me the feelings of PTSD from these incidents have been really difficult, but he's leaning on his church community and his family to help him through it. Brittany, Brian.
It's really interesting. Wonderful story. Thank you so much, Keenan.
Legendary high school football coach is saying farewell to the game. Ennis coach Sam Harrell is retiring to focus on his fight against multiple sclerosis. Right now, his team is playing their last regular season game. NBC5's Keenan Willard has the story.
MS may have confined Sam Harrell to a chair, but it can't contain his spirit. This coach is constantly moving up and down the sidelines, trying to will his boys to victory. Tonight, Harrell's Ennis team is facing off against Corsicana, what could be the most memorable game of a 45-year career.
I'm trying not to think about it being the last game, but it could be my last game.
Harrell's Ennis teams of the early 2000s were dominant, winning 3 state championships with their high-flying offense. Shortly after the last of those state titles came the diagnosis. Harrell had multiple sclerosis, a disease that breaks down the body's nervous system.
It came early back in 2005. I was diagnosed and I had retired.
Stepping away from football, his condition slowly worsened, eventually leaving Harrell unable to walk. He was fearing the worst.
And then I started getting stem cells and got better.
Harrell decided to travel to Panama for stem cell therapy, and he made a miraculous recovery. Over months, slowly winning back the ability to run and exercise, and return to coaching Ennis in 2018.
Getting back on the field was a dream come true. I never thought I'd do that.
It seemed like a storybook ending, fit for a sports movie. But in the last 2 years, Harrell started backsliding. He's back in a chair and has difficulty talking. And Harrell let his team know that after this season, He would have to retire to focus on his health.
Trying not to think of the sad side and trying to be grateful.
The season hasn't gone the way Ennis wanted it to. But on Thursday night, Harold got one last chance to make the playoffs and lead his last group of young men.
And that's what you have to remember is that coaching is not really about the wins and losses and the championships. It's about all the kids you get to be around and kids you get to influence.
Keenan Willard, NBC5.
Now, Ennis needed Terrell High School to lose their game tonight for Ennis to make the playoffs, but that did not happen. Harold, by the way, says after retiring, he plans to try another round of stem cell treatments and spend time with his 7 grandchildren. We wish him the best.
Absolutely.
That's right.
I love what he said, though, about it's really about the time.
Absolutely.
That matters.